morning.
Morning. 11 wines at 11 a.m. this time.
Yeah, we can't get much past 12 though. Unless we switch to European or military hours. Or,
Well, I think we should go to midnight and then do 24 wines at midnight.
the marathon. That'll be the end of the season.
That'll be the end of my life. What are you talking about?
Drinking for 24 hours?
Yeah.
Well,
welcome back to the Just Juice podcast. You got to remember to say it.
absolutely.
By the way, I have found that these microphones are actually a very good advertisement for our podcast because at work, my headphones gave out. And so I had to start using this. And everyone's like, oh, nice microphone. Do you have a podcast? And I was like, well, let me tell you. So who knows? We might have a whole 3 new viewers.
Like, all right. We heard about that. Yeah. As we continue to taste and talk and have fun with it, right?
Yeah. Quick question before we get into this. Did you watch the Knights game last night?
Man, that was
wild.
That was something. My wife actually sat through the whole thing and watched it with us too. Like she was like, "Oh my god, oh my," right? And like, how many new history records were set? At least 5,
something like that. Yeah, they kept going. Although some of them they're like, this is the first time in the second period after 5 minutes that we've had 3 goals, and some of them are a little like
really
specific,
reaching for,
but still, it was a pretty wild game. And for anybody who's watching, this is the 2026 Stanley Cup Finals, and just happened last night. Game 3, Game 3 happened last night. So we'll see how it goes, but. I did not expect them to even almost didn't expect them to make it to the playoffs. Never mind.
Avalanche were going to be tough. Period.
Yeah.
And then this game ended like second overtime on technically an own goal.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, there were 2 own goals.
I know
it was just a little wild.
So,
but anyway, this is why. We need to drink a lot this morning. It was really stressful yesterday.
Very long game.
Yeah.
Very long. Well, I got some. What I think is fun. So 2 totally blinds. I mean, normally we're blind, or normally we at least have an area or region or a thought to kind of talk about. But
to be fair, even when I see the bottle, I'm still tasting blind. So,
but that's it too, right? Like the sense of adventure and the sense of thing that wines can be. So that, I mean, if you want to
get into the first one,
cheers.
Cheers.
Let's take a look at this guy.
It's very pale.
Absolutely.
It's like, I don't know, it's almost like a water with a little bit of like hint of yellow in it.
Yeah, no, perfect.
Ooh. What am I smelling here? It's like floral, but there's I don't know, like a funkiness to it.
Absolutely. Yep.
Like I don't know what it is.
Maybe hints of like banana and melon, but also that kind of like earthy touch, but it's not soily and rocky and like granitic. There's a funkiness to it.
Oh, this is interesting. Yeah, it's like banana, but it's like the candy banana.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like I don't know what you call them, little
the runts.
Little yellow candies, like. Which apparently is what bananas used to taste like. Apparently bananas used to taste like that, which is why the candy tastes like that. And then that banana like went extinct or almost extinct because of some fungus or something.
Okay.
And apparently that's our current bananas are in danger of having this happen. So the banana that we eat now is apparently the banana that nobody wanted to eat back in the day. And then now our banana is starting to go extinct because we've essentially like homogenized them so much, right? Like it's the exact size, the exact like way they fit in a package. They all fit together right? Like they've been very engineered sort of thing. So anyway,
selective, yeah.
We've cloned the bananas enough that they have no natural defenses against this fungus.
We need to start a wild banana farm.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. I don't know if that's going to be easy here in Vegas.
Oh, like they grow like trees. It's amazing.
They grow like rocks, basically. We have banana rocks is what we have. They don't smell like this, though.
Yeah, I'm not going to give you too much on like descriptors and everything because we're just letting this one come together.
This is sharp.
Which is in and of itself kind of interesting, like the acidity.
Yeah. Sharp and a little funky. It almost tastes like a spirit.
Okay.
That's what I kind of get. You're looking at me like that's insane.
No, but it's more textural, right? Like it's more glycerol and rounded on the palate.
Yeah. Glycerol. I don't know what that word means, but
It starts going down. It's not sweetness and sugar, but some of those components that contribute to it. So it's not viscous and heavy as some really, really like high residual sugar or sweet drinks might be. But this has a mouth coating presence.
yeah.
And lends itself to that kiss of there is something ripe.
I have never tasted anything like this.
I guarantee that you have.
Really?
Yeah.
You're calling me out.
I know. Well, I'm just like, we're kind of messing with you today, just a little bit.
You're
just
messing
a little
with
bit.
me a lot. What are you talking about? Like, this is. I kind of get a little bit of rubbing alcohol from it.
Okay. All right. Overall enjoyable. And you can go either way.
I
with
think
it.
it's interesting. I think like if this was the first wine I tried, I'd be like, nope, never doing that again. Just because it's like so out there. I think now that like, you know, we've been doing this a while, I've tasted a little bit more wines. I'm like, okay, like I could appreciate it. But I would also be really interested if this changes dependent on food quite a bit.
I would definitely say yes, that it's not dependent upon food,
Right.
But the enhancement that you can get out of the experience of this with a meal, and a varied amount of like this isn't like one specific dish kind of food. You can do a lot of different things with this.
Is it a natural wine? Are you gonna?
Yeah, we can reveal it now.
You're gonna reveal it
Yeah.
already? All right. Oh, it's a sake. That's hilarious. Now I'm like, of course this is a sake.
Yeah,
I had it in my mind that it was a wine.
I know. But
And then now that you pull it, I'm like, oh yeah, I've totally tasted this before.
the red
I
is
swear to God, if the red is a sake as well.
it is a wine, but once we see the label and see what it is, so we're going outside of the box today. So
We're really outside of the
yeah,
box. Okay.
you've had sake, you love sake. You just got back
Yeah.
from Japan,
Yeah. This makes a lot more sense now.
right? Like the body, the aroma.
Uh-huh.
So that rice character that is present here, that is coming through. But like this is intimidating on a shelf, right?
Yeah.
Like even with someone to like sit back and explain it, because there is nothing English
Yeah.
on the whole entire front.
Yeah.
Right. And then even getting to the back label now, how to read that too, right? Like, are you familiar with?
Yeah,
This style?
I'm generally. I was gonna ask if it was like a less refined grain one because they typically are like less clear and more. I don't know, more pungent is the wrong word, but like more powerful. They have like a lot more flavor to them.
Categorically, as a Hanjozo, traditionally one of the least polished and traditionally one that blends in a different type of alcohol or a brewer's alcohol to it versus the category of junmais, which are pure rice.
Yeah,
So those, the potentially refinement. But this one throws in tokubetsu. So tokubetsu meaning special. So there's something special about this Honjozo that in the producer's mind. So maybe this could be classified as a junmai or a ginjo,
Yeah,
or
I
maybe
see.
they did polish it as much as a daiginjo, but they want to call it a Honjozo.
yeah. So first of all, it says floral, quince, mango, anise, hazelnut aromas. And then creamy flavors of persimmon and bubblegum. I definitely did not get bubblegum.
That was the one I thought was an outlier as well.
That's a little.
Yeah, and
I
I
feel
think
like that's reaching a little bit.
I think some of the funkiness you were getting from like the fennel and stuff like that too, right? But fun. I think beverage alcohols sometimes you need to push out there, and I know there's plenty of people who know sake only as like hot sake at their local joint.
Totally.
And when you say, when I tell people I drink sake and I like sake, they're like, oh yeah, I love hot sake. And
Yeah, I like sake bombs. Like that's different.
You know, warmed sake does exist in Japan, right? During the winter time and stuff like that, but it's never brought up to a point of boiling, like or heated in a microwave, right? Like that we do at home and enjoy. And my first experiences with sake were hot sake too.
Yeah,
I mean,
same.
I think everybody across the board. And then maybe you move into Nagori after that, right? Like the unfiltered, the cloudy, which
ones, yeah.
the vast majority of the time those come through with like a sweetness to them. But sake was kind of what kicked off my travels into the whole studies of wine and beverage industry. So I have a real soft spot in my heart. And,
Same.
you know, I've been tasting sake a lot lately. And I just thought, hey, this would be fun. You were just in Japan and like, let's not tell you at all what it is. And
Yeah, it was, 1 second. Zara, enough. He gets in these like moods where he has to like chomp other dogs' ears and just like there's like gnaw on them, not like bite down, but like they'll just be like soaking wet. I think he was getting a little bored. That's why. Anyway, I'll edit that out, obviously. But yeah, also like sake for me is largely how I got in like more into like wines and spirits as well. Because growing up, my dad had wine where he's, you know, very like culturally Spanish, like Spain Spanish. And so had wine for dinner and would give me a taste or two.
Part of the table.
Give me,
part of the meal.
just like a tiny bit. It also like when I was young helped me not like get to college and be like, I've never had a drink. I want to try and go crazy. Right. It wasn't like a special thing.
Yeah.
By the time I get to college, which was great. We just kind of had it at the table. And so, but I always got like really sleepy. Like it was always like the heavier reds that they would have and stuff. And so I just kind of like stayed away from it for a little while until I was in San Francisco. They had a thing called Sake Day, where they bring in, I don't know, like 80 different vendors and have like over 250 different sakes. And I got hammered, absolutely hammered, but it was great to like experience all sorts of different types of sake and started to get more into it then. But also like, I was going to say that I think what threw me so much was you put it in a wine glass, right? And then it does have a little bit of like yellowish to it.
There's a hint of color in
very hint. And so just immediately my like bias and perception went, it must be a wine. And when I got the funkiness, I was like, oh, it must be a natural wine because it's funky. Right. And so like, it just goes to show like the situation and even what the drink is put into really changes your perception of what it is.
I was really wondering if you were going to say, I don't think it's wine. I was hoping there was like a chance that you were going to get there because, pardon me, we were sitting with the master sommelier one time and he pulled something out and poured it for us and smell it, look at it, taste it, and people are starting to form opinions. And I genuinely looked at him and I go, it's cool, it's interesting, it's fun. I'm like, but it's not wine. And he's like, yeah, it was made from pineapple.
Oh, interesting.
Right. So it was like a pineapple line of fruit, you know, so technically wasn't, and you could just tell like there's just something just up, but you were cluing in on those things like the aroma, like the rice that comes through on the aroma and then the texture, because it is a little bit more elevated and there is actual added like alcohol to it. It's not all just from like a fermentation. So it really creates more of that mouth. So inadvertently, like your mind was telling you wine, but your palate and everything else was actually telling you, this is something else.
Yeah, because I even like looked at it and like I was like, it looks like it has a lot of alcohol in it, and then like tasted it and you know made the comment of it feels like it's a little bit more like a spirit than a like typical wine, which I feel like sake can kind of go one or the other. Like it feels very like water like sometimes.
Yes,
but then also can be like a little bit more, not quite a spirit, but then especially you said this one was fortified a little bit.
In that style. And we're still, I should have brought my readers. We're still listed at 15, just 15 to 16, which is like the real typical, but that's on the high end. I feel like when you start hitting 16% and wines, especially over 14, 15%, it's when the wine can actually start to taste hot. Like the alcohol shines through more than the fruit. Whereas this, there is like the next level up Genshu, which is cask strength or undiluted, and that is typically more in that like 17.5, 18 to 20% alcohol. And not necessarily tasting hot, but definitely tasting stronger.
Yeah.
Fuller.
Yeah, that's like, I couldn't put my finger on it, but I was like, this tastes like it's got a lot more. Maybe that's why I said bite, right? Because it had a lot more like alcohol than I felt I was used to.
Yeah, impact on the palate.
Yeah, impact. Like when I first drank it, it's like, oh, this is a lot stronger than I feel like it should be. But yeah, I don't know. Like it's again, now that you say it, I'm like, of course this is sake. Obviously the bottle's here, but like the fermenty sort of smell and flavor. I was like, I know this. Like, I know this kind of fermenty flavor. I might have been able to get there if I stuck with it long enough, but that's kind of like the, fermenty rice flavor that some of the heavier sakes have.
Well, then the step of the koji, because you need the mold aspect of it to kind of, and that brings certain other characteristics in that fermentation. There's been, of late in the news, in the wine world, bouncing around, there's always stuff going on. And we've touched on it before, like changing demographics and tastes and preferences and wine styles and whatnot. It's like some people feel as though they've come to a major conclusion, right? That part of the reason younger generations aren't buying bottles because they don't know what it tastes like. And it's like, duh, yeah. I mean, that's why you get into wine in the first place, because none of those words mean anything to you.
Right.
Now, if it's leading us down, which is something like this, right? If you don't know what any of these words mean, you don't know how delicious this beverage can be with a meal on its own or drunk. So I don't know if that conversation with wine is pushing them down the vein of being more transparent or putting more on the wine label than just like, cherry and strawberry. And, because even those don't necessarily translate fully into what the wine may taste like. So
it's a real problem though, because like it's also expensive to do it, right? Like at the very least, in Europe, France, Spain, right, you can get a pretty inexpensive glass of wine, right? And you can taste a bunch of different stuff. Here in the US, it's pretty expensive. And so if you're looking at like, okay, $12 to $20 for a glass of wine, but I know that this cocktail, I might not have had the cocktail before, but I know it's a combination of, these flavors with vodka or rum or gin. Like I generally know what that's going to taste like because I've had these things even individually before. Yeah. Right. And so I generally know like what it's going to be. And so I'm okay, paying for something that I generally know it's okay. And sometimes with wine, you pay $15-20 for a glass and then it kind of sucks. Or it's just not your preference, right?
Well, even just the experience with it, because especially in our town, unfortunately, on the Strip,
it's really expensive on the Strip.
And I mean, I'm there a lot because of work, and glasses of wine a lot of times starting at like 23 and up to like $35 and $40, and then you order that $35 glass of red, and it's. Unfortunately, it's a good bottle, it's a good wine, but it's sitting out on the counter in the room temperature, and it actually should have a slight chill to it. So you're not even getting this premium price, not even necessarily served to you. So sometimes that does people a disservice as well. They're like, I'm on vacation, I'm going to splurge, I'm going to have this really cool glass of wine. And then it's just like, oh, it's just kind of sort of enjoyable, right? Whereas if you had bought it in a restaurant and the sommelier pulled it out of a cellar, with a slight chill in the initial kind of like pouring phase. It's tough. It's challenging. It is a large dollar commitment, but I want to encourage people to keep drinking wine.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I've been trying more and more wines and all that. And I've gotten a few questions of like, oh, how do I? I think people are interested. How do I get into it? Right? How do I start? And the unfortunate answer is like, you just got to drink a lot of wine. You got to try a lot of different types. You don't even have to drink a big volume, but you have to just try a bunch of different types.
That's it.
Right. And you have to like understand what you like. And then people are like, well, where do I start? Because I can try a bunch of different types from 20 places around the world, and all be like very, very different. Right. So it's like, start with a region or a country, or if you went on a vacation somewhere or something and you enjoyed something, like start there and then like, get into more grapes from that area and get into, but it's tough because to your point, like you either have to have a bunch of friends that are willing to all like bring a bottle and you try everything, or you got to go out for dinner lots and like try a bunch of different glasses of wine and hope the places have good wine selections.
Yeah. Or just, mix up that 6-pack at the grocery store or the retail shop every time, it's hard, and it does. It takes time, unfortunately, with wine. There's not a lot of like fast forward in it because even like myself, a lot of the time meeting people, and like I was a sommelier for a long time, and so often the well, you must have a great palate.
Right.
No, I don't. And it grew over time, and it took a lot of practice and a lot of questions.
It's 10 wines at 10 a.m. 10 wines at 10 a.m. for years.
and also, since I got myself involved in the trade, I was able to surround myself with people that had the knowledge, so I could readily ask them the questions about like blind tasting with someone. They're like, I think this is 10 years old. I'm like, why do you think this is 10 years old?
Yeah.
And then they can give me their descriptors, and then I can go and study and learn and read and do all the stuff on my. But yeah, I mean, it is challenging to just try to dig in all on your own. But all of that stuff can be grown, can be learned, can be, if you want to put the intent towards it. If you just want to drink wine and enjoy it, then like, enjoy the bottle in front of you, move on to the next.
I find like sake does have a similar problem where it can be difficult to try a bunch of different ones. But then also at the same time, I've seen a lot of places have the small bottles. Which are great because then like it's kind of the perfect amount to share, or for me, it's a lot to finish one bottle, but especially if you're like with someone else, you can share one, and that's a lot easier because they're also not typically as expensive either.
No, not usually. But a great way. It's a absolutely fantastic way to kind of like try something, or as an individual, like have something that's not just the by the glass sitting on the counter. You get the fresh bottle, it's open just for you, kind of thing. So half bottles are great ways to kind of like experience beverages like this.
Also, like, I don't know, I think sake lasts longer than wine when it's open.
Yes. Okay. So yes and no. So sake is not meant for aging largely. So consume your bottles within that first like year to 2 year, like, it's freshest in that 6 months to a year kind of thing, and really not meant to go very, very long past that period of time. So that being said, though, you open a bottle of white wine, generally speaking, 2 to 3 days for most varieties, even in the fridge. That's about its lifespan before it starts oxidizing. Sake, 7-10 days ish, kind of.
It's a little bit longer. It's about double the time.
Yeah, so you can stretch out that enjoyment a little bit, but it will change over that period of time as well. It will not always be that same kind of product, and it doesn't. The way sake kind of like opens and oxidizes is different than wine. Like wine can get like matterized, like turn brown, and like all the aromas die off, whereas some of those still are complementary in sake. You can just tell that it's been open a little bit longer.
I see. So it's not like, oh, this is horrible, but like, this is not fresh.
Yeah. When it gets really old, but and that it's not as off-putting as quickly as like white wine can be.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So
all right, we're trying the next one.
Yeah, because it's
gonna be a Napa Red. Watch.
My favorite to throw out there in the world.
Is this like, how would you characterize it? Like, it's very red, but then also it's like not light but not dark either. It feels like kind of in the middle.
Right. It's not totally opaque, but it really does hold its color out to the rim really well.
Yeah. this isn't actually like wine, right? It's not
Absolutely.
just
Absolutely.
it's just grape juice.
Uh-huh. Once again, I don't want to put too much information out there because I want to get impressions on this.
I feel like it's got a lot of earthy notes to it.
Okay.
Whenever you say okay, I can't tell if it's like, okay, yeah, that's good, or okay, ooh, you're way off.
Well, but
okay, good try.
Is there more earth on the nose or more earth on the palate?
Palate.
Okay. On the nose, familiar fruit, like.
Yeah, on the nose, like cherry.
Okay.
A lot more cherry, a bit of spice. I can't really tell.
I'm kind of into like the darker berries a little bit more. So like even like a black cherry.
I was gonna say like a blackberry.
Yeah,
sort of
indeed.
thing, yeah.
Like I get those kind of things. I get a certain freshness with it, and then there is like I wouldn't say not medicinal, but there is an herbaceous kind of character.
I was gonna say it's like a little bit of the medicinal cherry, like just a hint of the medicinal, like not.
Yeah,
there are others that like holy
like
shit,
scream iodine and or Band-Aid, but you know there's like an herbaceous kind of
Band-Aid. I need to smell more Band-Aids. I just don't know. I think you've said this before at a tasting or something, and I'm like Band-Aid, and somebody said wet Band-Aid, and I was like, the thing is, I'm not going and smelling wet Band-Aids.
No, I don't, and if I see one, I'm generally grossed out by it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not like, let me smell that thing.
I'm glad I don't have that in my repertoire. But like I've got a kid, and like regular Band-Aid, right? When you open up the package, there's a certain kind of medicinal plasticky aroma that comes through on it.
Fair.
And the Band-Aid does sometimes often find itself in that like horse shitty kind of world of aromas. so
back to the cow shit. I think that was our first episode.
Well, that potentially the very
first
very
or second
first
episode where something smelled like cow shit, and it's like, but in a good way. I don't think we've had cow shit in a good way. I shouldn't have brought that up because you're going to bring it next time.
I know. I have so many fun wines.
It's like I have so much cow shit wine in my cellar. You have no idea. Yeah, there's a... Is there a little bit of acid? Like it doesn't feel like it's super acidic.
No, it's a good clean acid. It's not it's like I wouldn't call it high. This is probably like medium, maybe pushing to medium plus, but good enough to keep it balanced and have it's present. It's not faked. It's not acidified, right? Like this is a good, clean, light acid red.
Yeah. Almost zero tannins is what I'm getting. Is that right?
Yes. So probably from a couple of things, right? Like we're not sensing oak or char or vanillins. So this probably it doesn't see new oak barrels, right?
Interesting.
So the majority of the tannins that you're sensing come from the grape itself, and it could be like a very just medium tannin grape, based upon its pips and its skins, and then also like winemaking technique. I don't know if there's any carbonic mass, or a whole stem inclusion, right, kind of thing going on.
Yeah, I was trying to. There's it's like a peppery. It's like a peppery taste. I couldn't tell you if it's white pepper or red pepper or black pepper, but I feel like a little bit of a peppery taste at the end. But I was telling you before we started, I was talking to Joe Phillips, who's a master som. You should try him and have him on the podcast at some point.
Yeah.
If he'll grace us with his presence. But he was, I was trying to get the difference of like tannin versus acid. And he was like, it's a really difficult one. But acid is a lot like, and you were telling me this too, around like the edges of your tongue. And then tannins, you'll more feel like the cheeks and gums is like more of a dry sensation than like in the tongue sort of thing. And a lot of times they can either have both and like overlap, and it can be really confusing. So
or they can be more segmented, And I've seen people, like hold their mouth open after taking a drink and seeing if they kind of start to drool a little or
I want to see this tasting where people take a drink and they just open their mouths and everyone's just like drooling at the table.
Because if your mouth continues to salivate, it's a higher acid wine, right? It's creating that.
This is why people shouldn't be very pretentious about wine, because you think like you're, I don't know, you've got this like great palate and you've had so much wine and it's so expensive. And then you're sitting at the table seeing if you drool or not, yourself, if you drool on yourself, like,
yes. And
come on.
And this is people at like that high level of like master level study, you know, like
this is why it's just juice.
Exactly.
Calm
Right.
down,
Because,
it's fine.
Enjoy it. Ultimately enjoy it. Don't let it scare you. Enjoy it. Drool on yourself if you have to. All right. So if you could guess, like,
man, make me guess. I feel like it's not a cab. Like I'm thinking of the things that you've taught me and the things that like are typical for certain grapes, right? So I feel like it's not a cab because it's not like tannic enough or it's not like strong enough. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's not on the other end of it. It's not a Pinot because like maybe it could be like a heavy one. I feel like we're somewhere in the middle, like a Syrah or a Grenache or something like this. That's a little bit like, it's got a little bit of like meat to it, but not like super one side or the other sort of thing. So that's my best guess. And I don't know if I have to guess like country.
No.
Like,
because that's where this one is fun for me. I had read about this grape. I had never tasted this until.
Okay, so it's not one that I know
until
then.
This bottle. Yeah, I had never tasted this grape, this wine before.
This is going to be like a drops of God situation.
And this is not something that you could typically blind someone on, right? Like I imagine there's well less than 1% of the wine cognoscenti in the world that could like come up with a conclusion on this grape.
Okay.
And I personally was kind of equating it in like this like Zinfandel kind of world, where there's a little bit of blue and black fruit. It's not necessarily overripe, underripe. It's the alcohol is present, but it gave me that kind of like feel and vibe, and it started to remind me maybe a little bit of like, you know, Primitivo which is a relative of Zinfandel grown in Puglia in the south of France, and then there's another older relative called Tribodrag, which is kind of like up in Croatia and Slovenia and stuff like that.
Oh, interesting.
Kind of area of the world. So, and that's knowing what this grape was, right? But only knowing what this grape was through study and research and
man, you really
test
just like
questions.
you threw me into the deep end of this one. You were like,
because
you are never getting this ever.
no one would ever guess this as a blind. But once again, like, how would you feel about seeing that on a shelf in retail?
I would have no idea what this is.
Right. And if it was priced, you know, $15 to $20, would you buy it? Would you get into that?
I don't know. Honestly, like, oh, it's from Romania.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So this is one of their like more or less indigenous varieties. It might have been born in Moldova and come over, but Feteasca Neagra, or my pronunciation is probably horrible on that. But I've seen it translated into a couple of things. It can be called like Black Maiden, Dark Maiden, or Young Black Girl. And then there's a Alba, so there's a white version of this grape, which once again, like small white girl or white maiden, you know, kind of translation on the meaning of the name of the word. But it, you know, so it's barrique, so it sees some oak, but once again, I don't think any new oak. The price point of this would be prohibitive as well, and it's pretty well integrated. Natural, so they're probably trying to suggest more that it's indigenous yeasts and stuff like that, rather than, but it's not unfiltered and unfined, so it's not a natty wine or orange wine. Then Russusek, so a dry red wine, right? Like that translates pretty well. 14% alcohol, so it's small production, you know, edite limitada. So there's plenty for me clues on the label.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting enough that it's enjoyable. Like I'll finish this glass. I would happily finish this bottle. And as a wine nerd and as a professional, if I saw this on the shelf, I would pull it. I'd be like, because once again, this is the first time I've ever had this grape.
Yeah. Honestly, like, and maybe this is probably my own pretentious bias, but if I saw this on the shelf and it was $15, I'd be like, meh. I don't know if it's like, because the like $15 bottles are great, like everyday wines, great stuff to, just kind of open and have with whatever dinner. But if it's $15 and something from a country I didn't recognize, I'd be like, I don't know. I feel like I'm taking a big chance spending $15 on this bottle.
Yeah. But that's where I pull it because of the interesting factor.
True. Yeah. That's fair.
Whereas my everyday drinking wine, I probably would push the price point a little bit higher, and I probably would select something a little bit more familiar. But at under $20 with a wine I've never had before, I'm like,
give it a shot.
Yeah, and there's once again, it is a shot in the dark because is this a perfect representation of this grape? I don't know.
Yeah,
but this at least starts forming a baseline for me if I ever come across it again, or if my brother-in-law was recently in Romania and he brought this back.
Oh, cool.
So this wasn't even imported. This wasn't found on the shelf here. This is like a happy, lucky coincidence that he just happened to pick this one to bring back home.
Yeah, I was at Ada's, which for anybody watching, if you're ever in Vegas, really excellent restaurant. The whole kind of family of restaurants that they have are excellent. And Kat over there does a really, really good job finding great wines that aren't super expensive. So I feel like this is something that like she would really be into.
Absolutely.
And there was we went there for dinner one night and they had a tasting. I forgot where it was from. It wasn't Romania, but it was one of those like Eastern European bloc countries.
Georgia has become
maybe
like a real...
Maybe it was Georgia. It was something like this. And like, I don't know, maybe again, now that I see the wine and I've like tasted it and my bias is coming in, I'm like, this feels very similar to some of the stuff that I tried there. Mm-hmm. But there's some really great stuff coming out of that region of the world.
It's become a very lively hotspot for a lot of reasons, right? Like historically, some of the earliest evidence of intentional winemaking comes from this region of the world. Like going back some 5,000, 6,000, 7,000.
We really are in a Drops of God episode.
Sorry.
Like there's not to like ruin it for anybody who hasn't watched it, but in the second season, I think they are in search of this wine from a grape that like is almost extinct that nobody's ever heard of, and it comes from like kind of what you're saying, like a place that made wine like 2,000 years ago.
And a lot of this region in the world, for whatever various political reasons, under communism or crushed a lot of it. Like wine was merely a commodity, so it was mass produced just for that reason. So there was no real intentional quality design behind the construction of the wine. Yeah. And now that these countries have the ability and the freedom to kind of like pursue it more in that fashion, the highlight on this area of the world has grown immensely between Romania, Hungary, Georgia, into areas of Lebanon and Turkey and Croatia and stuff like that. And a lot of these have largely untouched indigenous grapes, right? Like they didn't have this huge influx of Cabernet Sauvignon or Pinot Noir because they were fashionable or because you made more money. People were still just functioning off of grapes that have existed there for thousands of years. Yeah. So there's a lot of like, especially industry wise and like us wine nerds and stuff like that, you hear people really seeking these out. And interest in them growing. A lot of them are small productions, so it's very, very hard to export, or it might not be worth the $1 price point, because he paid essentially what equated to 20 American-ish in Romania. Right. And it was a more expensive bottle on the shelf there.
Oh, wow. The grapes were crushed and not in a good way. Wah, wah.
Like,
This is what happens when you give me wines that start at 14% alcohol and
and,
go up.
yeah.
I start telling really bad jokes.
I'm going to bring more sake.
Yeah. You're like, I'm going to bring more sake. We're going to do sake bombs next time.
Yeah.
And you're going to chug beer, and then we're going to have a really great episode.
Well, because that's where we're here, like, hopefully getting past and debunking the hot sake, that's not the best way to appreciate it. I encourage you to drink cold sake and get something good. And then the weird stuff from other parts of the world, right?
Yeah.
Like, so this is
Totally.
two labels that you look at and you read, and there's a plethora of stuff that I don't know what the vast majority of that means. And then also like Romania, you're like, do I want to drink that?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Well, honestly, like when I tried sake at, I think there's a place in San Francisco, there's a store called True Sake. They're a big part of the sake day and stuff like that they do. And they have a really good selection. They also sell online. We're not affiliated with them at all. Just, like the store quite a bit, or at least did when I was there. They'd have tastings. And that was one of the ones where, they gave me a couple, and I was like, whoa, this is totally different than the hot sake that I've had, like hot house sake at like sushi restaurants and stuff. And I think the good thing is I've seen more and more Japanese restaurants offer like a wider variety of sake, especially like the izakaya style and stuff like that. So, but at the same time, I guess just like the wine industry, but the sake industry in Japan is hurting because more and more places are getting into wine and wanting wine, especially like some of the older stuff. There's a restaurant that we went to that basically only served French wines. They didn't even serve really any sake. Like they had a few, but like they really focused on French wines. Same sushi place that part of their pairings, they had white burgundies, especially with a lot of their pairings. It was really, really good, but you're just seeing fewer and fewer sakes on the menu. And apparently some places are starting to shut down because of this.
Yeah, very much so. We are seeing like loss of brewers and it's not easy work, like making sake. It's traditionally very laborious. And so once again, those are part of the demographic shifts where some generations don't care to pursue that line of work. And some demographics are choosing to drink less, beverage alcohol as it is. So, it's affecting, we talk about it often in this country and wine, but it's like all over the world. Like, I mean, the French youth are drinking less than, youth ever has in the history of,
which is good, by the way. Like we should drink
moderation.
We should like moderate. We should drink less, but also at the same time, there's some great stuff out there, right? That's, if it goes away, it'll kind of be a little sad, but also like, isn't wine's a pretty laborious thing too to make
as well.
And there are more wineries that are popping up, like in Japan, for example. When we were there a few weeks ago, stumbled on just a wine store that had a tasting, and they had a kind of range of wines from Hokkaido, a sparkling, a white, and a red. And the sparkling and the white were very good. They were a little more like natural, like pet nat sort of thing. They were a little bit more funky, but the red was insane. Like it was so good. And it was a Pinot because Hokkaido is very cold. And it reminded me of some really good Burgundies, like a young, like really good Burgundy. And I asked them, like, can I buy that? First of all, I wanted to bring some back. We did not have any room in our luggage because that's just kind of what Japan does to you. And then they were like, no, they only make like 600 bottles or something.
Oh yeah, really
500
really
bottles, and that's it. And this is all sold out. And I was like, why do you have this at the tasting? You're just getting my hopes up. And they're like, yeah, sorry, you can't have buy this anymore.
Yeah, I mean, but then that's like 2 barrels.
Yeah,
so
that's tiny.
Yeah, it's not. But how much? Yeah, it's challenging to grow. How much you're going to crop, and then you can't you don't generally go into a project like that saying I'm going to make like 100,000 cases of wine.
Right.
Your space is probably super limited. So all that I get it, but yeah, 600 bottles is like nothing.
Yeah, it was tiny, and they were already sold out. It's called like A23 or something like that. It was great, but wish I could have brought some back next time. Next time I'll bring some back.
Another category wine that because there is like what they consider indigenous grape they call koshu, that was traditionally the study point of Japan, and then the chapter was over. But they're once again like new generation, new interests. I think they've seen the successes of what one they started doing with Scotch, right? Like how they imported it and finished it, and they grew this category of Japanese whiskey to the point of like producing their own full on Japanese whiskeys now, right? Not just importing juice anymore. So as all those categories have seen expressed interest and growth, it seems natural that wine in an international format is coming along and getting bigger.
And whiskey exploded. Like
crazy.
People went nuts for Japanese whiskey for a while there. I feel like the bubbles kind of like, come back down a little bit as anything does.
Yeah. But this reset that we keep talking about, it touches everything beverage alcohol around the world right now. So it's some more severely than others, and some reasons differentiate a little bit here and there, but huge reset in the industry these days.
My hope, honestly, is that like, we've experienced this in many places, right? Like film photography is another one. There's far fewer films to shoot with than in the past. But my hope is that there's a core group of people who love this stuff, whether it's whiskey, whether it's wine, whether it's sake, whether whatever it is, and that core will keep it alive. And we end up getting our wineries and I don't know what you call whiskey houses, distilleries. There you go. Thank you. That like are really focused on high quality. Maybe some of the chaff gets like cut off sort of thing, but like we get a really core, like passionate group and continue making some really great stuff. And then, places from Romania or wines from Romania, from China, from Japan, from Georgia, we start getting these like really interesting like variations that
sometimes that expansion and contraction allows something like this to get some more spotlight.
Right.
It becomes a viable option at a interest level and price point, and just also, raising the level of quality standards while other people just pursued pushing quantity and quantity and quantity, let them fall off again.
Totally.
And this is still in a price point that can be affordable, can be approachable, cannot be, necessarily break the bank, but provide that other.
Yeah.
That other.
So maybe last question is, doesn't have to be last question, but could be last question. Like if someone wanted to try something different, we have I would imagine that most places in the U.S. at least have some of the big box stores, right? A medium-ish sized city, Vegas, 2 million people in the greater Vegas metro area, have at least some of the big box stores. What's the how can somebody go and try something different from another place and not be like totally disappointed, right? Because I would imagine there's at least a few bottles on the shelf of something from Georgia, maybe not Romania, but like maybe Eastern Europe area. I don't think anything's going to be on the shelf from Japan, but there's some places that aren't typical, France, Spain, Italy, US, sort of like Australia sort of thing. Like what do you recommend somebody do to try and find something unique and interesting?
I think so. I want to initially maybe just your personality first, right? Like if you're a McDonald's everyday kind of person, or you have your set meals, that's probably going to be the one caveat that you have to kind of like take in amongst yourself. So if you know that you like Pinot Noir, take that next step into a slightly different area of the world that you haven't seen it before, right? Like, so a smaller progression. If you have the ability to be a little bit more adventurous, I would say don't be gun shy if there isn't that much that on the label. Like if it stands out and seems unique, go for it. Sometimes that dusty bottle on the shelf, it's not the worst thing in the world. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Obviously there's a ton of like online resources these days that all come with their own kind of like caveat. But, the more you listen to us and trust us, you can, you can put the questions out there.
Fair enough.
Then maybe we could get around to it.
Also, if you're a McDonald's everyday type of person, try sparkling wine. I feel like sparkling wine or champagne would go really well with a lot of different like McDonald's, filet of fish, chicken nuggets, fries, that sort of thing.
And you don't have to, you can progress there as well. Start with like Prosecco, entry level Proseccos and Cavas, and then maybe you can have a grower champagne with your Big Mac.
There you go, grower champagne with the Big Mac. I like it. A special
guilty pleasures.
A special club grower champagne with a Big Mac. I like it. That's what I aspire to in life.
Yeah, so ultimately, I guess there is no good answer or best answer that I have for, because getting into wine, it takes a little bit of time. It takes a little bit of risk. Luckily it's still just alcohol beverage, right? Like you're not. But if you want to risk it and try it, go for it. I don't like everything I've ever had in a glass in front of me.
Fair. Neither have I.
But I'm generally not mad that I tasted it or tried it.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's the thing, right? Like it's tough when you're also putting your own dollars to it.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Because I'll sit there, look at a wine list. I probably drive the wait staff crazy because I'm like looking at just even by the glass, and I'm like, okay, I got to research every single one of these and see if it's something that I might like or might not, or how it's rated, and like, do I believe that rating? Maybe it's a little better or a little worse than it actually is, and like, so I spend like, also my wife just starts like rolling her eyes, just like, can we just order something and eat, please? Because you've spent half an hour staring at like 3 glasses of wine. Just order one or order all of them and just like deal with it, sort of thing. Right. But I think if you go on vacation or you go to a store or something, like, especially if you have dinner with friends, like, I think chip in for a bottle, try something, even if it's cheap. Even if you go to, I don't know, Trader Joe's or something, just try a bunch of stuff. At least it's, less expensive there, and see if there's something that even speaks to you a little bit, and then see if you can get more into that grape and try that grape from different countries too.
Yeah. I mean, that's at least one piece of it has a sense of familiarity, right?
Yeah.
So you can kind of like build a foundation off of that, and then maybe you're drinking this from Romania one day.
Yeah, I mean that's that's the dream. Cool. All right.
Nice.
Well, we gotta cheers with both at the same time.
Hey.
This is
Ding ding.
There you go.